Hello, and welcome to a Life Too Sweet podcast. My name is Dana. I am a Christian, and I have had a transformation, and so this is episode 3 of the transformation. Today I was thinking about talking about perfect love and what that really means, what love is to me, and what I've seen in this transformation to becoming a Christian from a Bible-thumping Christian who believed that the Bible was the infallible word of God, but I did not have anything happen to me that it talks about in the Bible. So the Bible always would say that I would have this perfect peace and that love drowns out fear, but none of that had happened to me. And so I questioned, but I believed. And so this is really about my transformation to actually becoming a Christian, forgiving my mother, returning back to the Father, my Father, because He is of God, and I have gone away from Satan, and now my life has been controlled by God, and I have been transforming into a daughter of God. Now, of course, I've been a daughter of God since I did forgive my mother. That was in November 11th, I think it was. And what I noticed was right away that I loved people. Now, I always wondered what love was. It's funny because I've asked many people what love was, but I never got an answer that made any sense. Okay, there was no answer. There was no, this is what love is, and this is how you know that you love. So I never understood that, and it's funny that I think about that because I've always wondered what love was. And I listened to my mother a lot. Like, she was my God for a very long time. I believe my mother was my God for a long time. And I would listen to whatever she said, and whatever she said, I would go with. And she would talk about that you can't love somebody until you know somebody. And so I thought if I was going to love somebody, I should just love everybody. I don't know. Like, that was something that I always kind of thought. And it's kind of interesting that I thought that, to be honest with you, because I think that really didn't make sense. It kind of contradicted what I believed love was. I thought love meant you would love everybody, that you would have some kind of something for them. And I didn't know if it would be a feeling. I didn't know what it was. But that was when I was younger. And the funny thing is I remember a lot of times when I was younger because things that I was told, I didn't think that was true because I knew in my heart that something wasn't right, but I never totally understood it. And I always kept that a little open to interpretation. I kept it open to maybe these people are wrong. Maybe they don't know what they're talking about. Yes, this is my mother, and I think that she knows a lot because she was my God at the time. I believed everything she said. And, but I didn't believe it fully. So it was kind of, all right, I'll listen, but I don't know. I'm not getting an answer. And so I looked and I searched for love. And I always thought this emotional love didn't really make sense because I would have relationships with men and I would say, you know what, I think I love this guy, but I truly didn't because when he did things that I didn't like them. And I knew for a fact that I really didn't like men. I hated men. I was angry at men. I felt like men let me down, starting from my father to all other men. But I knew that there was something that didn't make any sense because I always had that feeling of wanting to be like a boy. So why would I not like men? So I was very confused. It was a very confusing time. But I'm wondering, like, did I really love these people? And so that's always been a question of mine in the back burner. Nothing that, like, always stuck out. But every time I would hear my mother talk about love, it just didn't make sense. I'm like, I can't love somebody until I get to know them. I just thought that I'm supposed to love people. I'm supposed to love everybody. It's like, almost like it's in us. And it makes sense today that knowing the Holy Spirit's always been in me, but I got lost somewhere and I started listening to the devil in my mind and I became, a child of Satan, really. I was living for Satan, not for God, but for Satan. But I didn't really understand that until this happened to me when I forgave and became a true Christian. And so this love thing, of course, has always been very confusing to me. So the first and weirdest thing had happened, and I put this in the first, I think, podcast I started talking about this transformation. It's not the transformation series, but it is one of the first ones I talked about, actually, forgiving my mother. That I spoke with somebody and I realized we were disagreeing, and this person really, really disagreed with me. And they were trying to tell me how wrong I was. And I was trying to get something across that was totally different from being, if I'm wrong or right. I wanted to end a relationship of a job relationship type of thing. And so I realized that this person really was going against me. And I was just being aware of her. And I realized, like, I'm not angry at her. She's not upsetting me. She's not making me think any less of her. But I did see her. I was able to see her ego. I was able to see those things. I didn't know it was an ego at first, because now I'm learning about my own ego. But I saw that something wasn't right and they weren't listening to me. Everything I would say, they weren't listening. And I was thinking, wow, why is this person not listening to what I'm saying? And, I put that on the back burner for at that moment, but I was aware of it. Didn't understand it because this is new to me. I didn't understand that what was happening. Okay, I didn't understand what was happening. Let's just put it there. But I'm sitting there and I realized, like, all of a sudden I was just thinking, like, it wasn't even thinking. It was like a revelation of, like, I love her. Very odd. And I was like, wow, that's perfect love, right? Perfect love drowns out fear. I wasn't fearful to tell this person how I felt. I wasn't fearful of thinking that this person was wrong. I wasn't angry with this person. Now, this was all new to me because normally I would get upset. I would get angry. I would say, who do you think you are? But I knew who she was. I understood where she was coming from. It made sense to me. And it didn't bother me. It didn't hurt me. And it was very odd because I'm telling you, this is like 3 days later, maybe, after this transformation happens. And so I don't even understand what's happening. But I knew that I just loved her. And it wasn't like a worldly love. It wasn't a feeling. It wasn't unconditional. It was just, I love her. And I understand. And I understand that this person has no clue what they're doing. She does not even know that it's her ego. She doesn't even understand where she's coming from. But I could see it. I could understand it. But that was this perfect love. And it didn't have any emotion. And so now I'm starting to really understand a little bit of what this true love is. This love that comes from God, that doesn't come from the devil. Because I used to say I love this person, but it was more of a lust. It was more of a, I need something from this person. I don't know what it is. I don't even know if they can give it to me, but it was like an illusion. It was like the love that the world talks about is like an illusion of what they want love to be, and what I wanted love to be. It was like I wanted something from these people. I needed something from these people. I needed love from this man because I wasn't getting the love from the Father, from the source, the God source, the love that I really needed. It was like this empty hole that I had, but I would say I loved them because I was like, it was almost like lying to myself. And I know that I've done this before with jobs. Like, I just tell myself I love it so that I would like it, And I would make my job my God, and it was like I was searching for love. I'm feeling, because I wanted that pain to go away. I wanted that pain to go away. And now I know that Satan is the one that puts those feelings so that he can put me in a situation where I marry this man, have children with this man, and then I catch all the hell that could happen because I'm living for Satan. I'm living for his will. Because the truth is, I don't have a free will. It's either I'm living for the truth, which is God, or I'm living the lie that's in my head, which was from Satan, which was, you love this man. And the reason why I loved somebody, like I thought I loved somebody, now I was engaged. I'll tell you the story. I was engaged with somebody and we were together for a long time, but I was in love with what I thought I was in love. This is worldly love, right? I wanted what he had to offer, right? He had, he was going to let me go to school and be able to study, because when I was going to school for x-ray, I was very, scared because I was told that I had learning disabilities, and I believed this stuff, and I believed that I couldn't learn, and I believed all this. And I thought that I needed a quiet space. I thought that I needed somebody that would just let me do what I want. And he was a weak man. He was a man that allowed me to do whatever I wanted, as long as he could feel good. And I don't know his whole side, but I do know that he was a mama's boy, and she controlled him. And I just wanted everything to be smooth for me. And I thought it was love, but it really was, well, this guy will let me do whatever I want, live the way I want to live. I can be in control, and I like to be in control. And I thought that was love. Really crazy. But then when things turned, it was weird because I had anger towards him. So that's like hate. I had fear that I wouldn't be able to make it, and how would things be? And I'm supposed to have a family and children so my parents can have grandchildren. And it was all this crazy thinking that wasn't love. I noticed that Satan will bring me up and then he'll drop me on my booty, and the pain, it will be so great. And he wants to keep me as far away from the truth as possible. And, the world tells us and tells me that love is a feeling. And I'm not noticing a feeling. I'm not noticing, it's like a lack of feeling. To be honest, it's like, so I was at home, and I think it was Thanksgiving. And I'm just watching, because I'm being an observer, I'm being an observer, and I'm watching the anger and the fear that my family has. And, I was disagreeing with somebody in my family, and the way they were coming at me, I'm watching it going, wow, they have so many feelings behind this. And I really don't have any feelings behind it. Like, I'm just watching it like, wow, it almost looked like the devil was just like screaming. That's almost what it looked like. And I didn't have any empathy, right? Empathy that they talk about. And I'm thinking, wow, that doesn't even look good. That doesn't even look like they care. It's like weird. It's like, I don't know what it looked like. It just didn't make any sense to me. I'm just going to be honest. It didn't make any sense to me that somebody's getting so mad, so upset, and then it's like no acceptance. It's not, I'm not going to accept reality. I'm going to hate it. I'm going to be mad at it. I'm going to hate it. And if you don't hate it and you don't have anger, then you don't care. And I'm like, that's really interesting. That if you have anger, you don't care. If you don't have anger, you don't have love. But you can't have anger and love together. It's impossible to hate and love at the same time. You can't do that, right? You can't have hate and love at the same time. So how would you hate what's happening in the world? Like, basically, my father's getting older. He's dying. I mean, that's just the way it is. He's gonna die. I mean, he's old. It's inevitable. That's the way it is. But if I hate what is inevitable, then I hate. But it's just interesting how it's all making sense now, right? I mean, you cannot have perfect love and hate together. You can't. You can't have perfect love and fear. You have so much fear that somebody's going to die. I mean, they're going to die. That's just, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's just interesting, but it's amazingly interesting, but I don't have a feeling about it. I don't have, a feeling of this is bad. It is. I mean, it just is. And so I'm seeing perfect love from God, not anything like the world says. Nothing. Nothing like the world says God. Whatever the world says love is, it is not love. It is anger. It is hate. It is emotional. It is not of godly nature. It's not of godly nature because it's not in my nature today. It's not in my nature to be angry. It's not in my nature to be upset. It's not in my nature to be fearful. Like, I don't have any fear. To be honest, I don't have any fear. So let's talk about this. I think was the day after, or maybe a few days later after this transformation started. I was at work and I was talking about being part-time, and I said, oh yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll go one more day, I'll work one more day. And she's like, well, you don't have your part-time. And I said, yeah, that's what it was. She said, are you part-time? And I said, yeah, I'm part-time. And she said, oh man, you're not going to have your retirement. You're not going to have your retirement, and I said, well, I don't worry about that. And it was weird. She was like, and I just said it. There was no fear. There's no worry. I have no worries. No worry. I wasn't worried at all. I'm like, okay, not at all. And the way she looked at me was kind of weird. Like I saw her. She goes, oh, okay, if that's how you feel or something. She said something like that, and I just observed it. Like I was kind of confused about it. And then I remember, wait a minute, I should maybe. The world. I used to be fearful of that. I really was fearful, even as a Bible thumping Christian. For 4 years, I was fearful. There was a little fear. There was fear. Now, I'm going to be honest. It was less fear than I used to have. I will say that. When I was reading the Bible and I was going to church, I did have a little less fear, but I still had fear. And when somebody would, I had fear too, like, because I was going part-time to start that coaching business. And I started getting fear, like, oh my God, I'm not making any money yet. And the fear started coming a little bit. I had anger too. Like I had anger that certain people were, one person was claiming that she's a Christian, but then the way she talked to me about me saying, asking questions about, money situations to work with her on something. And she got a little offensive and I got a little angry myself, But today it's like, I'm not getting angry. I'm just observing and kind of just like, wow, that person disagrees with me very harshly. Like I can see it, but I can't react to it. I don't want to react to it. There's no like reaction. And going back to when I was at Thanksgiving dinner, I really thought it was weird because the person that I was disagreeing with, they actually said to me that I don't care. Like that, why would I want to go to God when you don't care or something like that? Like, because I had no emotion. And it was like, wow, she notices it. And somebody else noticed the same thing. Like, cause I was trying to talk to them about, this is another situation where I was talking to somebody and I was telling them about this transformation, what was happening to me. And when she was getting mad at me, like she was disagreeing with me, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm kind of laughing because I'm like, I don't know. I'm just being honest. Like, and then they were getting upset about the truth. I was telling them that you're either living for God or you're living for Satan. And when I said that, this person got really upset saying, you think that I live for Satan? And I'm like, well, you either live for God or you live for Satan. I don't know what to say, like that's how I felt, that's how I laughed, just like that. And this person was upset, I could feel her, like I could see that she was upset. She didn't know how to handle it, like at all. And it was like, she wants to be nice to me, but she's like, you just called me Satan, And I really was like, I'm giving you the truth. I don't know how to tell you any different. I don't know how to feel bad about it. I'm just giving you truth. Like why would I feel bad about telling the truth? I'm just giving you facts. That's it. That's all I could do. And I thought it was kind of interesting how both of them noticed how I didn't react. My reaction wasn't like the world would want my reaction to be. It was not of this world. And that's exactly what love is. It is not of what we think in this world. It's not. It's not. Not for me. Not for me. That's not what love is. So this perfect love that I'm talking about comes from God. And if I'm of God, I should live like God, right? I should be able to live sin-free. I should be able to do those 10 commandments. I should be able to go over those 10 commandments and be able to live them out. Because God brought Jesus down so that he can forgive us of our sins if we return to the Father. The only way to get to the Father is through the Son of God, who are the men in our relationship, in our families, our fathers. They are the sons of God, which totally made sense. It kind of revealed to me, like, I've been hearing it by that pastor that I listened to, but I was like, I'm not going to listen to what he says because I don't know if that's true. But it makes, boom, it just hit me. It just hit me like, well, of course I have to go back to the Father because Jesus was the Son of God, like, and the sons of God, which Jesus is in God. Jesus is in man, and men are over women. So we have to go back to our fathers. We have to go back to the men in our lives. We got to go back to the Father, right? So it makes sense. So that perfect love does come from God. Perfect love has no fear, drowns out fear. Perfect love is kind. It's patient. The patience I have is crazy. I mean, it's crazy. I've never had patience. Never had patience. I mean, I get frustrated so easily. And so I'm putting up my Christmas decorations. So I put up my Christmas decorations. Was it last night? No, it was the night before last. I put my decorations up. And you know, the balls, you have to put like this little string in between the balls and I have to tie them up. Oh my God. Okay. It's been like 3 years since I've had this tree. And last year I just stuck the balls in the tree because I was like, I'm not doing that. I tried it for maybe 15 minutes. I couldn't even get one in. Okay. This time I probably put like 25 together and it was easy. I didn't get frustrated. I had patience. I had relaxation. It was like, I didn't even think about, okay, I'm going to go put this in. It's not going to work. It's going to be hard. Like, those are all the things I used to think about. None of that happened. Like, and me telling you this right now is just hitting me right now. It's just coming up right now. It's not something that I thought about when I put this podcast together. I just thought today when I was sitting down, I said, well, what am I going to talk about? And then I was like, you know what's been really hitting me? Perfect love. Perfect love has been hitting me because it's something I've been thinking about. And so I didn't think about how I was going to do this podcast today. I just came in here and just started talking, to be honest with you. So just FYI, let you know that this is kind of all coming together as I'm speaking. So I also know that it really talks about that we will be not of the world. And doesn't that make sense? Perfect love has nothing to do with the world tells us. This world is run by the devil. And it's not just because the devil's out here. The devil's inside of us. The devil is inside of us, and it just makes perfect sense. Now, if I'm going to have perfect love, I can't have anything of evil. Like, I cannot have Satan ruling my life. And so, yes, there are times when my head starts talking, but now that I'm taking my time with God and I'm just keeping my mouth shut and I'm just listening to God, not even listening, just sitting still, being still and knowing God. Be still and know. Just like Jesus did when he went away and he went to the Father and he prayed. He didn't talk to him. He just stayed there, didn't say nothing, listened to the Father, trusted in the Father, went to the Father and had that relationship, had that one-on-one relationship, because I'm starting to not hear Satan's voice as loud and I'm hearing God's voice, which is not a sound. It's just a revelation. It's just a knowledge. It's just a perfect peace that he talks about in the word, right? In this word. And I know that it's not God's word, because people are going to rip that Bible apart. People are going to tell you what it says, what it means, because they went to school, or they believe something because somebody else said it and somebody else said it and somebody else said it. But when things come from God, that's when I can truly see the truth. When I keep listening to man, it doesn't make any sense, because man doesn't know without God. And that's the truth. That's the truth. That is definitely the truth. God is within me. God has revealed to me who he is and who I am. I don't really know much more about like what he wants from me, where he wants me to go, what he wants me to do. I don't know what my purpose is. I mean, I don't know, But Satan told me my purpose was to be a life coach. Satan told me a lot of stuff. Satan told me that you know the answers. You need to work hard. You need to make good decisions. When you make good decisions, things go right. That was definitely not true. Okay, I made the worst decisions because they weren't my decisions. They weren't God's decisions, right? So I really was living for the lie, living for the world, but saying that I was living for God, that I loved everybody. The truth was I didn't. The truth was I didn't know what love was. I thought love was a feeling. But that's a trap. I mean, how many times was I in love with somebody and it was a trap, right? It was horrible. It was horrible, because Satan does not have love. Satan has fear. Satan has anger. I mean, look what's happening with these masks. And people are just sitting there letting it happen. And they're just, Christians are going to church and, social distancing and wearing masks and telling you that you need to wear a mask and clean. Those people are not of God. There's no way that we would be living in fear when we have perfect love. It's crazy to me, but it's all a learning experience. Even when I was not of God, I could see that it's easy to be controlled, because when we hear something over and over, we start to believe it. I mean, if you go on the news and you listen, January is going to be a horrible month. I mean, we gave them the curve, wait for the curve, and now we're giving them our freedom. Now we're going to give them a vaccine that they're going to make it, illegal, like that you have to take it in New York. I mean, this is how easy we are manipulated when we're not of God. That's how easy it is. That's how easy it is to believe in these people that are health experts, that are 500 pounds. I mean, it is crazy that we'll just believe somebody because they say they have a degree. That's the funny thing, that we just fall because we don't have love, because we don't have a mind of God. We don't have a clear mind. We have a mind of Satan telling us that you need to be scared, you need to stay in your homes, and you need to cry out to the devil, and he's going to tell you what to do. That's the funny thing, but I could only see this fully when I had that perfect love of God, when I knew that I was wrong, I was lost, I was angry, I was fearful, I was resentful. I mean, think about it. How can I be of God and be fearful and be angry and be going to Celebrate Recovery and being in the same situation I was in without God? What is the point? Why would I keep listening to the doctors and the people, to do the 12 steps and everything is going to be great? The 12 steps made me feel a little bit better. Oh, look at me. I did the 12 steps, right? Ego was off the chain. Now I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to tell everybody that you do this, this, and this, and your life is going to be great, and you're going to live a life too sweet. But the truth is, the only way to live a life too sweet is to live it by God, to live in that perfect love, to live in that perfect truth. And I get to live in it only because of the grace of God. The only reason, the only reason why I know the truth and I can live it out is because I know God. That's the only reason. The only reason why I know what love is because I know God, because I have a relationship with God. That's the only reason. And the only way that could happen is if I return to my Father, return to God, return to the truth so that I could see perfect love and I could have perfect peace beyond all understanding, because the mind is a mess, right? What did somebody just say today? The mind is a terrible thing to keep. The mind is a terrible thing to keep, because the world tells us the mind is a terrible thing to waste. No, the mind has gotten us nowhere. The mind is of Satan, and he was my dad. I lived for Satan for 45 years, and now I have freedom, and now I know what love is. Now I have perfect peace. I don't need anything of this world. I don't need my dog. I don't need my mom and dad. I don't need the church. I don't need people. I don't need only God. That's all I need in this world to have that perfect peace. That's it. I don't have to serve two gods anymore. I don't have to serve the Bible and the devil at the same time. I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to serve the church and the devil at the same time. I don't have to do that anymore. So that's kind of what's going on. Transformation, episode 3 of this series. I don't know how long the series is going to go, but this is episode 3, perfect love. How to have perfect love is only through the Father, only through God. That's it. No other way to do it. The world can't give it to me. I can't go see a psychiatrist in love. I can't go and see a doctor. I can't go to church. I can't read the Bible. None of that. And none of that's going to work. It didn't work. It didn't work. I read the Bible. I did it. I read the Bible, started writing down verses, and I still didn't understand. I'm thinking, the Old Testament, what the heck is God doing killing all those people? Well, they're evil. I mean, they're living of Satan. Hello? I don't know. And I say it like that because I really believed that only certain things in the Bible that would come true, but the Bible's the answer. And I knew God. But the devil deceived me, because I am nothing. I am a spirit. I'm either of God or I'm of Satan. And basically I lived for Satan for 45 years. I gave that evil devil my soul. And all in the name of Jesus, right? Oh my God. But by the grace of God, I go. By the grace of God, I live perfect peace and perfect love. I love my enemies. I love my neighbor. I don't have to have a relationship with a man. I don't yearn for much. My ego's dying. It's interesting because I really, really wanted to call people before when I was feeling like depressed, but that depression is going like away. Like, it's not depression. I mean, I guess it's depression, but like, people might not get this part. When you're like sitting at home and you're feeling lonely and you want to call somebody, and then you think you're going to feel better, and you feel better for like 10 minutes, and then you feel bad again the minute you hang up the phone. That's what I was doing. But this is different from last week. Last week I had a little bit of loneliness, but the last 2 days I haven't. The day before that I was living in my mind. I was living in my mind a little bit. So it's still a little process, but that's a part right now. Part of the transformation is not having that lonely feeling. That's subsiding. My ego's still there. I still think that I can make people believe what I'm saying. I think that I can change everybody's opinion, and I know the answers. That part is still there. That ego is still there. But I realized yesterday it was revealed. It's really been revealed to me, and just taking the time to look at myself and be aware of myself, I'm seeing how much I think I can just write on Facebook, and then the Bible thumpers will get what I'm saying and they'll turn to the Lord. But the road is very narrow. It's very, very narrow. The road to destruction is really wide, and the road to redemption and the road to God is very small. It's very small. And I'm seeing it, but I'm learning never, ever, 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 ever argue with a Bible thumper. But if some of this stuff sounds cool to you, if some of this stuff sounds like, I don't know what the heck this woman's talking about, but it's kind of interesting, I would refer you to Jesse Lee Peterson. He's a pastor, so he's somebody that could help you through it. Very blessed that I had something to understand what was going on when I didn't understand. I wasn't having feelings. I started thinking maybe something wrong with me. Almost did a little bit, but then I got to listen to Jesse Lee Peterson to where he kind of helps you go through it. So if you're looking for that, if you're confused, I would also suggest doing the silent prayer.video. You can check it out on Jesse Lee Peterson's YouTube channel. Even if you think I'm crazy, it actually calms you down and you can really listen to God instead of listening to our thoughts and stuff. It really helped me. It really helped me to calm down so that I could listen to him more. I already knew I needed to forgive my mother. I already knew that, but that might help you figure out what you need to do. Just listening to God. If you want to listen to God and you think I'm crazy, that's still it calms you down, calms your brain down a little bit. Maybe it can help. But the only reason why I'm saying that is because it helped me. And the only way to really truly know God is to have a relationship with God. He's within us. We don't have to go to anybody else. It's just he will make our path straight, right? If we just give up control, because we don't have control. I hate to tell you, but we don't have control. It's God or Satan. So it's a great life. I'll tell you, it's a great life, man. It is getting better and better and better. This is probably the best. These last 2 days have been so amazing. It's like freedom. It's like nothing it's like your mind is clear, like totally clear. It's like the sky right now has no clouds in it. It's just like that. Okay, so yeah, it was so clear. Okay, that's how I see things. Very, very clear. So I guess I'll end this here. It's been a little while, almost 38 minutes. So let's end this with I love everybody. I hope all of you find this podcast finds you well, and I hope that you listen and maybe this resonates with you and you want to find this perfect love and know God. If you're interested in checking out my videos, I am on all major outlets to podcast outlets. You can check those out. If you want to download this audio, you can do that there. Also, this is a Life Too Sweet YouTube channel. If you want to see the video, you get to see me. Woohoo! And I'm also on Instagram, Life Too Sweet, and I'm on Facebook too. But I hardly go on my Life Too Sweet one. But maybe I'll start going on there again. So I hope this helps you guys out. I hope that somebody comes to God and gets to be free, to where you get to have perfect love, perfect peace. Your mental state is amazing, and your whole life will change. And hopefully you find out what you want to do and how easy life can be. No more drugs, no more seeing a psychologist. It's just been amazing for me. But I hope that you get something out of this. Please check out my YouTube channel. Check out my podcast channels and all the major podcasts sites I should be on. And it's been really fun talking about perfect love. Transformation episode 3, perfect love. Episode 3 in this series of Who Knows. And who knows if I'll be back next week. If God is willing and that's what he wants, then I'll do it. If it's my ego, I'll find that out as well. So thank you guys for checking out my video, audio, whatever you're checking this out on. And remember, God is good. He's perfect love all the time. You guys have a good one, and I will see you in the next podcast. Have a good one.